human being grabs a potion while our protagonist is thinking about how incredible that body is. Most likely, it's a stunning woman with a powerful figure running this whole underworld operation. At that moment, the door opens again and someone else walks in. Judging by the black tights, you already know what time it is. Does our boy have an eye for detail like that too? The person says they're there to buy an extremely strong drug that targets mages and leaves no trace behind. The seller is confused. This is a potion she rarely sells, and now suddenly everyone's asking for it. Moon's taken aback. He didn't think women had that kind of taste too. He feels bad for whoever's about to go through that whole ordeal, but there's nothing he can do to help. Then the woman tosses 2 vials onto the table and says that's the one everyone's been looking for. Even though the liquid inside was bright in color, mixing it with wine would make it totally unnoticeable. Just a few drops weren't enough to knock out an elephant for 2 to 3 hours. He's stunned by how strong it is. The masked girl says that if he doesn't believe it, he can try it himself. He'll just have to sleep on the floor for 3 hours and still pay full price. The only catch is the cost, 130,000 Amelias, the local currency. The masked woman standing nearby, though, says she doesn't have Amelias but has another way to pay. She shows a letter, and the seller says it's hard to accept something with that kind of value as payment. She reads through it and asks if what's written is really true. The mysterious figure says the seller can use her own skills to verify it. Mysterious or not, let's be real. It's probably Anne. Who else would it be? The seller says, all right, the potion is hers. The masked woman grabs it, thanks her, and starts heading out. Meanwhile, Moon just says to charge it to his card. The seller hands over a bonus potion and says if he combines it with the other one, the experience will be way better. He thanks her, tucks it into his bag, and asks about the info the other woman gave her. But the seller, clearly not too concerned with honesty, says they're old friends. And if he wants the information for a fair price, it'll cost him 900,000 Amelias. He gives her a look and turns away, saying he's not interested. That scam artist was trying to charge him 7 times the price right to his face. No way he's falling for that. He's from the modern world. He already knows a trap when he sees one. As soon as the door closes, the seller says she hopes to see him again soon. She then takes off her mask, and of course, it was a woman. Now she knows exactly what's about to go down at the mansion, and she's wondering who she's going to sell all that info to. Obviously, the most interesting move would be to sell it to both sides and stir up total chaos. Could she be the protagonist? She definitely has that kind of look. The next night, over at the Campbell Palace, it's full of clueless nobles wandering around, and there's our guy right in the middle of it. A mustachioed gentleman shows up with his 3rd daughter, saying it would be wonderful if she got to meet young Mr. Campbell. She glances at our boy and starts trembling, then dashes off, dress fluttering, yelling that her mother was calling her. Honestly, that reaction looked more like fear than anything else. The father apologizes, saying she's a bit scared, and Moon just says it's okay. That's when he starts noticing none of the girls seem happy to see him. Clearly, his reputation has taken its toll. Still, his father, Lon, places a hand on his shoulder and says he's impressed with how the boy's been behaving. He's really stepping up, and tonight, he'll stop being a boy and become the man of the Campbell family. Moon thanks him and says he'll do his best. Suddenly, someone at the entrance calls for silence. The 3rd in line to the throne of the Leopold Empire is about to arrive. Blessed with the purity of snow known as the Ice Goddess, the 3rd princess, Celia, who looks suspiciously like Payman from Genshin Impact. Lon says he's going to go mingle with the rest of the guests and asks Moon to take care of her. Moon goes right in, calling out to the princess, saying it's been a while. He compliments her appearance, and she even has the little sparkles in her hair like Payman. My god, the girl's got real presence. She thanks him for the compliment. He's acting all sweet and gentle, and she's starting to think something feels off. Then he says she must be tired from the trip and suggests she go rest for a bit. As she walks past, all the nobles bow to her, and she's over there thinking, what's up with this guy today? He's being way too polite. At that moment, it seems like Campbell is overhearing people talking about some illegitimate daughter who apparently had a duel with her husband. I'm kind of confused too. Seems like folks don't like her because she's illegitimate, got divorced, and now wants to qualify as an heir. The rest of the party tells them to stop saying stuff like that. It's crazy talk. Ah, of course, right? Who's arriving now? The protagonist, the main character of this world. Ariel Boogard, the one with black hair on the left. Honestly, she's pretty basic, you know? But it makes sense. If you think about it, protagonists are usually kind of standard, black hair, plain face. And there she is, acting all normal, greeting Mr. Moon. He's all awkward and responds that he's doing great and welcomes her. But then, out of nowhere, this big guy steps in and asks how she can speak like that to the young master. She was being a bit casual, and our boy tells the guy to shut it, saying it's fine. She can talk however she wants. He's already been polite enough. At that point, she practically has a mini meltdown. She's wondering why this guy who used to treat her like some terrible illegitimate daughter now suddenly knows how to pronounce her name. Her friend is watching Ariel all confused until someone reaches out a hand and calls for Miss Leah. Another one startled because Campbell knows her full name, Miss Leah Angel. He reaches out to take her hand, but Ariel slaps it away and tells him to knock it off at the scheming. She grabs him and tells him to listen. She's here because of his father, so he better not try anything shady. If he even thinks about doing something awful to her or Leah, she'll make sure he never walks out of there alive. With that, she walks away. I already like her. She's putting on the righteous hero act, but we both know she wants him to cause trouble. Moon's thinking that, just like he expected, dealing with the protagonist is going to be rough, but he says he doesn't really care. Once the night ends, she'll go her way and he'll go his, and they'll never see each other again. Not long after he gives his speech, apparently it's his birthday. Who knew? Looks like he turned 18. Everyone claps and calls him amazing. The guy almost has another episode, but now it's time to get down to business. He looks around and spots the payment lookalike chilling by the mirror. He walks up, introduces himself, and apologizes, saying he hopes he's not being rude. He asks for the honor of a dance. Oh my god, does he think he's royalty now? She accepts, of course. That girl, though, she's rocking some serious firepower with that outfit. Whatever accessories she's wearing look like they're practically bursting out of her. Meanwhile, the nobles are all stiff and awkward, glancing around, and the protagonist is off to the side eating cake while watching him dance with the third princess. She compliments his steps, and he says he's still a beginner. She knows how much he's changed and says now he's finally acting like a noble. What she finds odd is how his dance invitation earlier went. Warrior, I shall grant you the mercy of a dance. Be grateful. He awkwardly tells her to forget that, says to leave it in the past. The music plays. Let's go, people. We're deep in the plot now. They're dancing, she's praising him, the usual stuff, and then, what's this? He slides in close behind Payman. Is he calling for backup, adventurer style? That's when she says they need to have a private conversation. She already knows this marriage is just political arranged because of their families. He replies that if she wants to cancel it, they can work together to make that happen. She pulls back slightly and says they'll talk more about that later. Then she asks, how about they head to his room right now? Man, he's caught off guard. But it's too late, she's already pulling him away. Off to the side, there are two mischievous maids watching everything unfold. They're whispering about how that girl went off with that mentally challenged master. You know what word they're thinking. They say they've got to act fast because that's Lionheart territory now. Back in the room, he offers her a drink. She politely declines, saying she can't have even a single drop. Now Moon's in real trouble because he has no idea how the original protagonist actually managed to win this girl over. On top of that, he still needs to give her the potion. But if she's not drinking anything, he has no clue how he's supposed to pull this off. He asks what she likes to drink, and she says coffee. But then she quickly changes and offers to have black tea instead. Turns out black tea or wine are the only options available in that place. She looks a bit puzzled, but he waves her off, saying he'll go fetch it. Meanwhile, she's sitting there, kind of confused. He seems so enthusiastic about making that tea. Obviously, he's back there slipping the potion in. Honestly, I thought it was the sleeping potion, but out of nowhere he says this one drop makes someone fall in love. On top of that, there's another vial he decides not to use. He's not so sure about its effects. Just then, she calls for him, which startles him, and he quickly turns around saying it's almost ready. But oh boy, in that quick spin, some of the potion spills all over the place. And the other vial. Turns out it was an aphrodisiac. He's relieved that none of the potions leave behind a magical trace. That is, until he looks down and realizes a good chunk of the potion hit the floor. His original plan was to sell a little of it to make some cash. But now, that's out the window. As he brings the tea over, we see someone peeking through the window. Payman, well, the third princess, comments that the Campbell family's black tea is strangely red and shiny. He says it's an extremely rare herb from the East, a real delicacy. She goes along with it and tells him to drink it first. Our boy goes, "What, Payman? Don't trust me?" Moon Campbell, the honest young noble, but she just replies that those who serve should always taste the drink first. That's basic noble etiquette. When he lifts the cup to take a sip, though, she snatches it right out of his hand and says his looks better. They should switch. Oh, one little sip later and she's already looking woozy. I thought it was going to be aphrodisiac, but nope, she wobbles, drops the cup, and passes out right onto the sofa. Moon's thinking it was a smart move to make sure both cups were dosed. According to the original story, the protagonist is supposed to burst into the room and try to kill him any second now. He needs to look suspicious, so he lowers her skirt a bit, unbuttons part of her outfit, takes his shirt off, and says it looks perfect. Anyone walking in would assume exactly what he wants them to. Looks like he's really aiming to be condemned this time.